Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers. On this episode, we got new prototype pictures of Masterpiece Raiden. Studio Series 86 Ironhide is leaking lubricant everywhere. And new toy listings tease more upcoming Transformers Legacy figures. Today is Wednesday, August 10th, 2022, and this is episode 498 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that sends all our clients text messages to the opposing attorney by accident, but on purpose, because we know our client is a total piece of shit. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how you doing? I should have read that before you did. It caught me by surprise. It was funny.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian beast.
I mean, do you disagree with it?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
It's just I figured we were gonna go with something about text messages, but then the part about the client being a piece of shit that I didn't read.
Yeah. I mean, I think it tracks.
Yeah, this is what happens when I show up late and y'all have already done all the intro planning.
Pays to be on time. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and help keep the show going. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to become a Donatron, if you aren't already, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up. One of the perks of being a Donatron is that you get access to the early bonus uncut versions of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And this week, we've got Empire of Rust episode 82, Carapace in the Mist. And this version is exclusive to our Donatrons. It just came out on Monday, August 8th. It's up on our Patreon page and only accessible from there. Of course, if you are looking for the regular episode 82 of Empire of Rust, that will be out the following week. So you've got a couple more days to wait. So all you Donatrons, get it early and get to listen right now with everything left in, everything that was taken out on the cutting room floor is stuffed back into that episode. So listen and enjoy a week before everyone else. And this is episode 498 of Transmissions. So you might see that we're getting close to a pretty big round number. We've only got a couple more weeks, but the interesting thing is also we are hovering right around our 9th anniversary of the podcast. So next week, episode 499 will be our 9th anniversary show. I mean, it'll just be a regular show. I don't think we're doing anything special for 499, but we're saving up the specialness for episode 500 because that's the big one. That's it's a pretty big milestone, I would say, 500 episodes of Transmissions, and we'll also it'll be episode 300 of Transmissions Alt Mode that week as well. So if you'd like to give us a shout out or, give us some special feedback, send in some voicemails. That'd be fun to add into the show. So, transmissionspodcast.com/feedback, and you can send us a voicemail right from there.
Who knew 9 years ago that we would still be spending our Sunday nights, doing this?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's pretty, yeah. My kids are all grown now. It's very weird.
Daryl has another one.
Yeah.
I started
you have
over.
a one.
Yeah.
Yep. It's quite the thing.
All right. Well, let's jump right into the show. Talk about some toy news.
All right, and we're going to start off the show this week by talking about a story that came out last week. We didn't have an opportunity to talk about it then because we were talking about some convention, drops. But I wanted to just discuss it this week because it's the prototype images that were shown off of the Takara Tomy Masterpiece Raiden. And this is our first real look at it. So at this point in time, the Moon Studios one has been completed fully. All of the figures have been released, and if you've managed to get it, then you know exactly what it looks like. Being that is finalized, you can now compare that to this gray prototype. And there's, this gray prototype looks pretty good. There is definitely a lot more chunk on this thing, though. Something that stands out to me, which is, I guess you can take them off because it's just a gun, but it's those feet guns that kind of go on the ankles of Raiden here. They're kind of like the I don't know, wings or so. I don't know exactly what you'd call them. It's kind of like these little feet wing gun things or whatever, but you could take them off. Either way, they're massive on this Takara Tomy official version. And frankly, I don't like them. I think they look like crap. Another thing that kind of stands out to me here, and I'm hoping that it's going to be fixed or changed, are his hands. And I can't particularly tell if, they are, all the fingers are articulated, but it definitely looks like only the main knuckle on each finger would be articulated, and the rest of them are just a solid shape. And that's unfortunate, knowing what the Moon Studios one has given us. Secondly, there's a large gap in the main torso due to transformation, and that's a really kind of an eyesore that I you can't really take your eyes off of. So there's a bunch of stuff on this figure that really kind of bothers me, knowing that this is the official release of Masterpiece Raiden, the first official combiner for the Masterpiece line, and it's serving up a fairly lackluster figure here. I'm going to throw it to you guys here. Jeremy, what are your thoughts when you look at this guy, knowing that the third party companies, Moon Studios specifically, produce something with such a lot less kibble on their combiner?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look nearly as good as the Moon Studios. I don't know if this is like a mistransformation in parts, but if you look at that drawing of, the character drawing from that a couple images after this, mm-hmm. you can see what they were trying to go for with both the chest area and those things by the legs. And I don't think either one succeeded, unless the chest area is a mistransformation and maybe that nose piece is supposed to come up, or maybe yeah. the winged piece is supposed to come down or something. I think it's more likely the wing piece is too high. In the drawing is supposed to cover that, but the leg pieces are just completely it looks like they're supposed to be a little bit thicker and beefier, and it just doesn't look, it doesn't look good at all. I agree with you on that. There are gaps in the legs where I don't know if it's pieces have come together or what. I'm hoping that this is just being a pre-production piece. There's, this isn't the final version.
Right.
But it's shocking that they would let an image like this go out if it's not going to be as representative of the final version, because I feel like it doesn't give you a good image, a good feeling of how the final product's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
I kind of agree with you that maybe that chest piece is supposed to go up a bit more, because that really does look bad where that large gap is there, and I can totally see how
there's a little
suck
hole
up
there where it seems like something's supposed to peg in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just they could have had a better first impression here.
Okay. Yeah. Charles, you're an engineer, and you've done
when you start off like that, it never ends well.
Especially we're talking about trains here.
I know. I mean, you've taken your fair share of rides on trains, and I mean, there's a significant amount of engineering into this figure, and it's made up of 6 trains. So the affinity for this figure should be fairly high for you. But I know that we've talked about it before, that you're not getting this. But is it because that you knew that this was going to happen, that it was going to look like this, or you just don't care?
I mean, I'm just kind of out of the Masterpiece game is a little bit too rich for me these days. So, it's a little bit daunting to the prospect of getting 6 Masterpiece figures at once. I mean, I don't have I'm keeping my Unicron, so I can't sell the Unicron to fund my, my Radiatron.
Is that a shot at me? I see. Okay. I see. That was fairly subtle. I got that though. Yeah. Does being a double doctorate not pay as well as it used to?
Well, I still have 3 kids and got to put them through college. So, it's
there's inflation.
I still got expenses.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes. Kids don't pay as well as they used to. That's what happened.
Wait, they're supposed to pay me?
What, they don't? They're in the States. You guys got screwed.
Wow, your social safety net gets better and better in Canada.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I had to pull up a picture of the combined Radiatron just to compare it to see what the difference was, and I definitely got to say, Radiatron looks a lot better. I mean, just and even looking at the image, like the art image that they're trying to represent, I'd say the Radiatron looks a lot better. Like, look, comparatively represents that better than the official figure. So I don't know. That's kind of unfortunate for Hasbro or for Takara, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, the hands on Radiatron are all fully articulated, and I think with all the figures being Masterpiece size, and this is a combiner that's combined of 6 Masterpiece figures, you'd have enough size to get pretty good articulation on all the individual parts. So I mean, at the very least, I think you could have the hands be a little bit more articulated than what they appear to be. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with Jeremy about there's a little bit of the gaps there are a little, don't look great. But yeah, I mean, I also think we should still wait for the final product. I mean, it is kind of, we are comparing the gray prototype image to the finished Radiatron here. So
yeah,
I would like to see them side by side and just see, but this doesn't fill me with confidence for the Masterpiece Raiden there.
Yeah. I do feel bad constantly shitting on the official Raiden here. It's just, it just doesn't seem like it's up to snuff, and, I know that the figures are smaller. I know that the combined version is going to be smaller. So right off the top, it's not going to be as big as, you'd expect a Masterpiece scaled combiner to be. And and then you've got all of this extra chunk, hanging off the figure. It just doesn't look as good as I would hope it to look. The Masterpiece line has done some amazing things over the years, things that I'd never thought, ever possible with transforming figures. And recently it just seems to be falling off. And, I'm kind of happy. I'm not the type of collector that just has to buy all the Masterpiece figures, because, I don't feel like I don't want to support this. I want the best possible, Raiden that I can get. And frankly, this one isn't it. So,
Masterpiece has been chasing the money rather than the fans that it was originally chasing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I can understand people who want to buy the official product and don't think that anything unofficial is proper. I get that. I understand it. But when I look at this, I don't see a high quality item. I see something that's built it to look a certain way. And it just, when I compare, this one to the other one, I see an engineering, disparity, and they should be able to come up with a certain amount of, similar transforming figures, like similar way to do things. And the differences are so vast that I just, I don't get it. And I would think that a large company like Hasbro and Takara combined would be able to come up with something, better than this. And I honestly, I feel bad saying this, about this thing, because we've looked at it and we've talked about it before, that the train versions of these look so good. And we've theorized that they are the number one priority out of the three modes that these trains produce, right? Like train, robot, and then combiner component. So if that is the case, then this combiner is likely the bottom part of the totem pole on this. And that's unfortunate for everyone that might be getting this, because it just, for me, I don't particularly like it. So if you're a fan of this stuff and if you're getting this and you saw this image and you're like, damn it, this is it. This is what I wanted and it looks great. Please write in and let us know why I'm full of shit. And I want to know, because if I'm missing something here, then please enlighten me, because I'm very curious. But that's it. That's all I had to discuss this week. Jeremy, what do you got?
How about something that does not look like a piece of shit?
All right.
Maybe this will cleanse your palate. We have, through various places on the internet that are not official announcements, being like the Cybertron Philippines Facebook group and someone on Baidu, we have images of Studio Series 86 Ironhide. He's a Voyager figure. These are like in-hand pictures, obviously not procured through ways that Hasbro and Takara would wish that they are procured. But this looks really good. It doesn't look like there's a lot of cheating where we've seen in other Ironhides that have like lots of parts forming. This looks like a new mold that the robot mode is spot on to the animation model. Outside of, I think, the facial expression he's making seems a little bit too happy for Ironhide. That's my biggest complaint right now. But other than that, he's very posable. He's looks good in scale with the Siege Ratchet. He looks good next to Optimus, like the Earthrise Optimus. But where I think it falls down is the vehicle mode. I think overall it looks good, but lots of lots of gaps in the midsection where panels are connecting, and then like one panel where you can tell it was clear plastic that has been painted red because the red is a different shade. And that's a shame. I mean, I understand it's just chemistry. It's just how it works when they have to paint over a clear piece of plastic. The shade of red is, or whatever color they're doing, it's not going to match completely. But this one, at least in these pictures, it's very darker, like very much darker than the other. But outside of that, I really like it. He also does have a couple spots on top where, for the ratchet version of this mold, will have a light bar. Too bad they couldn't do something there, but I'm pretty happy with what we have here. Charles, how about you? What are your thoughts on this Ironhide?
It does look like a pretty good Ironhide. Looking at, like, there is a picture where they have him side by side with the I guess, is it Earthrise or Kingdom Ironhide?
Earthrise.
And Earthrise, yeah. And I mean, it does. I mean, you can. I think, like, you can see a lot of the joints and things are different, but also I see some similarities too. I mean, I don't think it. At least I'm thinking it's not a complete.
It could reuse some pieces, but for me, I'm seeing so many new pieces here. It just it seems like it is mostly a new mold.
Yeah, the Earthrise figure does, like, its whole top hood is like uses a shield, and that's not for the Studio Series 86 figure. It looks like it's all integrated into the transformation. So that's one big
Which
difference.
I'm sure
there.
You appreciate.
Yes,
the chest is legit. It's real.
Yes, it's real and it's spectacular. It's and I like the waist on the Studio Series Iron 86 Ironhide looks a lot better than the Earthrise Ironhide. So I mean, this is a really nice looking figure. I mean, it's funny that we're getting a Studio Series. I mean, I imagine this means we're going to get a Studio Series 86 Ratchet as well. I mean, that's a no brainer. But it's interesting getting these two figures, given how, spoiler alert, they are murdered in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
What?
And it's just interesting that this makes me think that if any character was on screen for 5 seconds in the movie, they could potentially get a Studio Series 86 figure. So
why not?
I guess. Yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah. Daryl, one thing that stood out to me in this, one of the pictures actually calls it out, is the way they're doing the joints for the shoulders, and how it's kind of a piece that slides into the more visible piece of the shoulder. Have you seen anything like that before?
Yeah, they've done this before. Yeah, you're gonna make me remember which figure has done it, and
I mean, you're the toy guy.
I know, I can't think of it though, but it is something that they've done more recently for a couple figures. So it
seems like a really nice way to do
it is
joints like that.
It's definitely it's stronger, and it's definitely more visually appealing. The one thing that stands out to me, though, right off the bat, and I mean, it's just the nature of the way, like the business that's toys are right now. If you go back to that picture, the first one of the Studio Series new one, and then the Earthrise one standing next to each other, the Earthrise one, the existing one, is a deluxe. This is a Voyager. This new one is a Voyager. They are different price points, but they are exactly the same size.
Yeah.
That
we do have an answer
for
that, though.
Mm.
I mean, Hasbro has told us, like in that last Zoom they did with the fan media, someone brought that up, and they did say it's now not necessarily a size; it's based on the complexity of the transformation.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yep. And I mean, I get that. It's hard when you look at the figures, especially when you're buying all of them, and you look at them and say, well, this is the exact same size, but now I'm paying $10 more,
right.
So if you're buying this as a kid, and a kid's not going to care that it has more parts than the previous one. They just, it's now $10 more. They got to cut another lawn or whatever. But frankly, like I've said before, I don't know a lot of kids who are buying these.
Right.
But
they do need to come up with a new terminology, I think, because we associate Voyagers, Deluxes with size classes.
Yeah.
They need to figure out a better way to market this as complexity.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. But I really do. Looking at these, I like the look of it. I have a worry that the inevitable Ratchet will be an exclusive figure somewhere, because the last 2 Ratchets have been exclusives. So the Siege Ratchet was in a Walgreens or an EB Games exclusive here, and then the last Ratchet was a Selects release in a 2-pack with Paradron Medic, I think. So it's not Ratchet has not been an easy figure to come by in the last little while. So I hope that when they do release Ratchet, it's a little bit easier to find, because Ratchet seems to be the one that they send out to some exclusive, retailer. But all in all, I really do like the look of it. It looks great. I have no problem with the face. That somebody's gonna, come up with a replacement head for him, something that can get blown off by Megatron.
Oh, we're definitely going to get the dying, smoking looking expression. That's a given. Cool. Well, I think that is all I have this week. Charles, what do you have?
All right. Well, I have one quick thing before I get to my regular topic. I just wanted to mention, because we talked a little bit about the Legacy Deluxe Minerva that, still has not been announced by Hasbro, but apparently is already in stores. So we got this week a note that a Legacy Minerva was found in a Walmart, which is also doubly weird because apparently the rumor was that this was going to be a Walgreens exclusive figure. So, but that's still speculation as well, because it hasn't been announced yet officially. So it's very weird that we've already got Minerva filtering out into stores somewhere. So, just a really interesting note about Minerva and what's going on with her. What's the deal with Minerva?
What's the deal with Minerva?
The Seinfeld week here at Transmissions. But my main topic that I did want to talk about was more toy listings for future Legacy figures. So we got another kind of dump of upcoming Legacy figures. This is I guess for coming next year. We've got a Nemesis Prime, a core Nemesis Prime, so probably just a repaint of the core Optimus Prime. A core Grimlock, so a little tiny T-Rex Grimlock, I guess. A core Bomb Burst, which could be a retooling of Iguanus, I guess. A core Swoop, another teeny tiny Dinobot. A core Starscream, which I think we already had a core Starscream in Kingdom, so this might just be a re-release, like a refresh. A core Scar, and I guess is that one of the another Dinobot that never got a like another sixth Dinobot that never. I think there was a sixth Dinobot in what was that? The digital series that Livio Ramondelli did.
Was that
It was.
Oh,
It was the middle one. It was first was oh god, can't remember. It was a trilogy.
Scar is the name of one of the Power Masters for Double Dealer.
Oh really? Okay.
Yep.
I would wonder why he'd get his own figure though, but
Strafe was in last night.
Oh, this is bothering me. I should have looked this up before the show.
Live research.
Monstrosity. That was the Livio Ramondelli book, and that went into the Dinobots. And they had a sixth Dinobot who was called
Paddles.
No.
There's no Dinobot.
No.
You're thinking of the Punishment, Redemption, and Salvation.
No, that was another series, but Monstrosity. That was also Livio too. But this one was this one also dealt with the Dinobots, and let's see, I'm close. Hold on, I've almost got it.
Was it Terry?
Let's see.
Barney. No, Barney. It's purple.
It's coming. Hold on. We're almost there.
Boy. That's what she said. Getting very uncomfortable now.
I think Scar is who you're thinking of.
I should just type Scar into TF Wiki.
That's what I'm looking at.
That would have
Monstrosity issue 3.
Oh yeah, Scar IDW. Yeah, there he is. That was a long journey. So I don't know. Maybe it's a Power Master. Maybe it's a sixth Dinobot from the IDW Monstrosity. I guess we'll see. And a core Snarl. But I mean, we've got several. We've got Grimlock, Swoop, and Snarl Dinobots, core Dinobots. So I'm guessing Scar is going to be that sixth Dinobot. Although I'm wondering why they didn't put Slag or Slug and Sludge in here too. But anyway. On the deluxe front, we've got Shrapnel, so continuing the Insecticons. We've got a deluxe Prowl, which is probably a re-release of Earthrise Prowl, I would guess. A Crosscut, which is probably a repaint of Skids. A deluxe Junkion 2, which I have no idea if that might be a new mold for a Junkion, or maybe the Studio Series was a Voyager, like the Studio Series 86 Junkion was a Voyager class, but we do have a Voyager Junkion also for Legacy that's supposed to be coming soon. We've got a Voyager Nemesis Leo Prime, so that's a Lion, Beast Wars Lion
well, it
Prime.
It doesn't say Prime. It says Nemesis Leo.
Okay.
Could be Leo Breaker.
Sure. Could be.
Hey, I mean, we've been getting stuff out of the Unicron trilogy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Have we gotten the Leo Convoy regular one, or has it been?
I don't think so.
Weird to get a Nemesis version before a regular.
Yeah, that would be weird. We've also got Ramjet. Is PR Prime? What is PR?
I mean, there's a PR behind Starscream as well.
Yeah.
Is that Transformers
and Bomb
Prime?
Burst. I don't know. Maybe.
Was there a Ramjet in Prime?
I don't
think
think
so.
so. No. And then a Voyager Bludgeon, which Bludgeon is a fan favorite, so not surprised there. So getting a new Bludgeon, that's my my pick of the week for this list of characters here. Is I would definitely like a new Bludgeon, and a bigger Bludgeon. Probably will not have a Pretender shell, but that's okay. I think Bludgeon has not had a proper Pretender shell since G1, so that's fine. But interesting listing of toys here. So, Jeremy, anything that sticks out for you from this list?
You be besides another Nemesis Prime, even though it's core. I don't know. I mean, the Nemesis Leo intrigues me. If it is a Nemesis Leo Prime and not a Leo Breaker.
This is a deep pull. If
Yeah.
it's a Leo Breaker.
But I mean, the Leo Prime design I always thought was so cool, and I would not be above skipping the regular one and getting the Nemesis version just because that seems to be my thing. The Ramjet seems interesting. Not sure. I mean, it depends on where it's from. I don't think there was a Transformers Prime Ramjet, but I don't know. It has been long enough to where we get a new version of the Transformers Prime Starscream mold. I mean, that seems like that was a pretty iconic version of Starscream.
Mm-hmm.
And then I agree, Bludgeon would be a really fun one to get.
Yep. Daryl, how about you? Anything tickling your fancy here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of them on here that I've probably going to end up picking up. The core Dinobots, they seem like easy pickings, just because they're $15 here in Canada. By the time this list comes to fruition, they might be 20. I mean, who knows what the hell's going to happen with the price point on these things, but $15, that's easy enough to kind of pick these things up over the course of a year. The Deluxe Prowl, that seems fun. Continuing with the Insecticons as well. Shrapnel, of course, with the, I think it's Kickback is out right now. I don't have it yet, but, so that'll continue on with those and just kind of get a nice new set of Insecticons. I mean, if they're continuing with the Junkions and just kind of going to produce their own, like you don't have to buy the same figure 100 times to have an army, and they're just going to make a Junkion army out of different figures. Oh man, I might have a problem kind of making that, happen myself. So I might be, might be in for the Junkions as well. I cannot underestimate the importance of Ramjet being on this list, because Ramjet was part of that 2-pack that was just lost to all of Canada. Pre-orders were taken and they just fell away. So Ramjet and Dirge just never existed here. Plus, I mean, Thrust didn't really come out here either. So, I mean, some people were lucky enough to get it. But Ramjet is a ghost for here people in Canada. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of other places here, in the world that didn't get it either, but I can only speak for myself. So if they are releasing Ramjet by itself, and I can only assume that Dirge will follow that, and it's the same figure, man, that is huge. There's a lot of people that will be very happy, myself included, that that's on this list. And Bludgeon is just like you said, he's an iconic character. And, I am lucky enough to have a G1 Bludgeon, a complete G1 Bludgeon. So I'm in for another Bludgeon just because it's just an awesome character. A dude with a skull face. I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm in. A lot of this list is going to be coming home with me.
So no slowing down of the collection with this list here.
No, but notice how there's no Beast Wars characters on this list.
Yeah, that's
except for Leo, if it's Leo Prime. That's Japanese Beast Wars.
I'll give you that. Yeah, true.
I guess we'll see. I mean, this list probably won't come to fruition until next year, like middle of next year. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, well, that's my toy topic, and that takes us to the end of our toy discussion. So let's move on to trips to the store. This is the part of the show where we show off all the cool Transformers stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition, but we'll have the audio right here. We'll put it in the show so you can listen as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
Okay, let's get into what we got, and I'm going to go first. Like I said, I don't have any toys this week. I just have comics, and these are built up over the last few weeks. So I'm going to show them all off. Fate of Cybertron, Transformers Fate of Cybertron. That was the last issue of the ongoing. We reviewed that a few weeks ago. Then Last Bot Standing, number 3. We also reviewed a couple weeks ago, and that was a particularly good issue. Then Beast Wars number 17 we reviewed last week with Dr. Pants, the final issue of Beast Wars. So lots of things wrapping up here. And then, as I mentioned, we're talking about this in alt mode this week, Transformers Best of the Rarities. So this is a little, it's almost a trade paperback. It's a pretty substantial issue. Got lots of stuff, lots of interesting things here, and we're going to talk about that in alt mode this week. So that's what I got. These were all cover A's. I did not have any variant covers for any of these. So
A lot of pages for that Best of the Rarities. A lot of pages.
Yeah,
it's a big one.
It's almost double what a normal issue, and the price tag matches it. So
I think all of these best stubs have been bigger.
Yeah, yeah, they have.
Yep. All right, I'm handed to Daryl. What do you got this week, Daryl?
All right, well, I'm gonna start with one thing you just showed off was Best of the Rarities, so I did get that as well. Mine's in a bag and board, because I care about my things and like to take care of them. So I do have you do have the Best of the Rarities here, and I haven't read all the stories yet, but the ones that we're going to talk about this week I have read, and I have thoughts. I'm going to show off one of a new figure that I got this week. Is new to me, but it is animated Ratchet, and this is the Cybertronian, looking animated Ratchet. So he comes with the knuckle dusters, and this was a Toys R Us exclusive. So so I've never had this one before, and I saw it at the store, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick this up. So I did, and so it's complete. And it's a fun looking figure. I haven't transformed it yet, but it's cool. And I'm very slowly gaining a fairly substantial collection of animated figures. So I like that. It's a very good, really nice looking figure.
I'm not sure if I realized that the animated Auto Troopers and Visitron that I got from BotCon and the club years ago was based off of that. Is very clearly based off of that with just a different head. So it's a really cool design, really good figure.
Mm-hmm. It looks it too, and it's Ratchet was just such a cool character in that show too.
Yeah.
And the last thing I got is one thing that Charles had brought for me at the TFCon, and it's one of those things that I kind of had forgotten about over the years because it had been so long since we had seen each other. But it was this this tape pack that was an exclusive reveal, and man, it's so nice to get this thing in person. This is the Dino cassettes, the exclusive, the Japanese exclusive Dino cassettes of Grafi and Noizu. And obviously you also get a Frenzy. So just one random Frenzy, on the back or on the other card, which is kind of odd. And then the cards are joined, which is another odd thing. And then obviously on the back, the tech specs are on the wrong cards. So another bit of a screw up there, but whatever. It's just a nice little piece of Transformers kind of history to be able to get these extremely rare Dino cassettes that really never were known to me until kind of they started popping up, online, and people saying, "Oh, have you ever seen these?" And no, and then obviously they reissued them in these packs. So I'm very grateful to Charles for being able to pick this up for me. So yeah, and then now that I have them, so thank you very much, Charles.
Are you going to leave them on card?
Oh, they're staying on the card for sure. Yeah, but that's it. That's all I got this week. Not a lot. I've still got some more stuff to show off from TFCon, but it's a slow dribble at this point. I'm just I'm spacing it out real slow. Unless cool. Dr. Pants or Mike is on and they threaten my manhood with something, and I have to really just come swinging. So
that's what she said. Maybe. All right, let's finish up with Jeremy.
All right. So I also have the Best of the Rarities, same comic. I also have Best of the Beasts because apparently I make it to the comic shop once a month now. But looking forward to getting into this.
Am I in that Beast one? No?
It's all about you. I'm surprised you didn't realize.
Well, they called me. I missed the call. So they must
have So anyway, so also I had we were in Target doing some back to school shopping, and I saw the Micro Machines Transformers stuff, and I couldn't help myself. So they had the big play sets, but I opted to get this mystery pack play set plus vehicle inside, and already opened it. It comes in this neat like shipping container thing that opens up to be a playset. And of course I ended up with Optimus Prime. I bet they all have Optimus Prime in them. But this playset, which comes apart, I mean, all these pieces come apart, but it's like roads and kind of some desert land, and it comes with some other pieces. Get a little tiny cactus because you need a little tiny cactus. Comes with stickers, and for some reason it didn't make it down here when I was bringing stuff down. But it also comes with a little red, kind of, we got the little red strips for the classic toys to read the tech specs. Comes with a little red reader for the faction logo there.
Oh.
To see whether this is not about a Decepticon. But I think that's a neat thing that they threw in. They didn't have to do that. And but I mean, Optimus Prime, he's tiny, like super tiny, doesn't transform. I thought that the hood was blue with red flames, but I guess either this is a change or it's wrong, but whatever. I don't anticipate getting a lot more of these, but I saw it and I just had to try it. That's and then cool. And then I had a pre-order come in today. Another figure I kind of forgot I ordered. This is the Wreckers pack, the G2 Leadfoot and Master Dominus. So I did get all of them except for Bulkhead. This is Leadfoot. He looks great. The the blue on his legs is absolutely beautiful. The paint job. It is a nice, like it's like a bluish purple metallic. I don't know if it's coming through on the image here.
Oh, it looks real shiny.
Yeah, it looks great. He's got that great new faction symbol. I really like what they've done here. The wheels, I'm not sure if the original Leadfoot, I never had them, was like this, but the wheels have this like partially smooth, partially got some lines on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's clearly not coming through. Well, they're kind of, but
a little bit.
It's a neat design. But yeah, Leadfoot is great. Great articulation, posability. Master Dominus, on the other hand, he's one of the fossilizers, repainted. They get the faction symbol, but being a fossilizer, they just art. But whatever. It's a skeleton. A skeleton mammoth. So
is Leadfoot a retool of Dragstrip, the Legacy Dragstrip? Okay.
No, because Dragstrip has 6 wheels.
Oh, okay.
And I did, when I pulled him out, I did try to separate them at the waist. He doesn't separate. It's clearly not the same. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's a retool of a Mirage.
I think it is. Yeah.
I mean, that would make more sense.
That's the newest Mirage. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he looks great.
Yeah.
So.
The original G2 Leadfoot does not have anything on his wheels.
He does not. Okay.
No.
He also just has a plain Autobot logo on him.
Yeah. He has a propeller. Does the new one have a propeller?
The new one does not have a propeller. No. But I mean, this is great. Very few hollow bits. Like basically it's just kind of inside the arms where the hands fold in. Mm-hmm. So they're doing some good jobs on some of these with.
Yeah, that's very
making
cool.
Use of
that paint looks good. That blue paint looks really good. The original one doesn't have any kind of metallic paint at all.
Yeah, the paint is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, that is all I got this week.
Okay, and that's it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. At the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. So thank you once again to John Forex Lemongood and Demon Tech 82. You guys are awesome for continuing to support us at the highest level on our Patreon. So that's why we give you a shout out in every episode. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.